Hey guys, today I'll be reviewing the Amazing Spider-Man movie series, Ultra Posable Spider-Man. Now, this is the Ultra Posable plain Spider-Man from this line with over 20 points of articulation. Very cool picture. It's the most movie accurate. I mean, it even looks more movie accurate than the 6-inch Spider-Man of the same line. On the side, you have more movie clip art. I'm not a huge fan of the picture they chose for the packaging. I think there could have been cooler action poses they did, but it's nice that they didn't just pick out like some CG animated version of the Amazing Spider-Man. On the back, you got super posable. You can see all the super poses. We have a running Spider-Man, kind of a jumping Spider-Man, and a fighting Spider-Man. Ultra posable with endless arsenal of acrobatic moves to make Spider-Man truly amazing. Visit hasbro.com/Spiderman, theamazingspiderman.com. Of course, you can collect all the figures. Each is sold separately. You got Zip Rocket Spider-Man. We got Web Cannon Spider-Man. And Reptile Blast Lizard. Of course, this is like one of those lines where Spider-Man's repainted constantly to have darker or lighter colors than his normal costume, and he gets a crappy gun. And for the most part, this line didn't have great articulation, so we'll see how this one turns out. Of course, Marvel, Spider-Man merchandising, Columbia Pictures, and Hasbro. So overall, very nice looking figure in the box. Let's take him out and see how he looks. And here we have the Amazing Spider-Man himself out of the packaging. First off, I must say, this guy is actually pretty awesome. Just to give you a quick look. Quick 360. As I look through my camera, the colors look a lot brighter and look a lot more movie accurate actually to the camera. He's a little dark, just to get that out of the way first off. But I think it's just such a little amount that I don't really mind. I might be one of the only guys who really enjoy this costume, and I think it translates well to the film, and even better to this figure. Just to look at the detail, it's quite nice. Uh, but yeah, just very nice detail. All of the etchings are in there. Nothing's really painted on, or like there's no real details that they left out. The textures go out the whole thing very nicely. Even to like the shoes have like the side textures. They didn't get lazy on this guy for sure. This is the figure they made directly for the adult collector. The face sculpt looks fantastic as always. Um, let's see. Maybe the head's a little long, I think, but it doesn't bother me too much. The eye pieces look fantastic like the movie. I would have liked if maybe they were a little yellow tint, but with the white, it does look pretty comic-y, so you might be able to kind of hide them in the background of your Marvel collection. Or it might be good to actually put this on a custom Spider-Man you might be building. And then the back is very nice. Very little paint defects other than the fact... Here, let me move the arm. The main problem with this figure is, well, one of them is that, as you can see, there's the red that goes up, and then it just doesn't continue. And this also poses a big problem for where they do have the detail. Let me find a place. I saw one earlier. Like on the arm, for example. You move it and it gets out of place, and then like here, see? The red kind of gets out of place, which kind of gets annoying. So, to keep that lined up, also with the abdomen especially, like, you move it off to the side, like, do like a jumping pose if you're doing like a display or something, and it looks really awkward. So, that's the unfortunate part about this figure. But other than that, like, all the details on this guy are fantastic. The articulation's great, which I'll get into in a minute. I just really like the detail. They did very nice shading, like, especially in the reds. My camera's almost... Yeah, you can't really see it in my camera, but there's, like, black between all the reds, which obviously is costume. Is partially costume work that they're trying to do. But it really adds more dimension to the figure. Everything is fantastic. The hands, like, they added all the little details in there. No web shooters, but that would kind of be where the joint is, so they'd either have to hinder the joint or just paint one on there, and it would look awkward. So I guess I'm fine with that. But yeah, just a fantastic looking figure. I see very little detail problems other than that. Articulation on this guy, head is on a ball joint, as well as it's on one of those joints that can make him look up really high. If you wanted to get Spider-Man in a flying pose for some reason, down really low. Uh, Moping Spider-Man, his arms are on a hinge on both sides. There's no hindrance, so both the sides are the same because there's no extra accessories. Swivel, double jointed elbows, twist at the hand. Hand has a little articulation there. Abdomen has one of those Marvel Universe joints where they move around. This one, some of them are hindered, but this one is actually quite nice. They made sure that you could do it. You can go 360. It works quite nicely. Of course, the legs, I hate these. They have the kind of Marvel joint, I'll call them. Those are really annoying. Hasbro does them a lot, where you can go side to side, but not forward unless you twist it. You can get in really good poses with that, better than like the T-joint in DC Universe Classics slightly. But it's very unfortunate. Like, it takes forever to do it. So if you're not like an extreme poser, like myself, like I'm not an extreme poser, but some people are. So I don't really care for that type of thing. I'll do it on this side because it's a little stiff on the other side. But the leg has a swivel, double jointed knees. Oops. Double jointed knees. The foot can swivel very nicely all the way around, and it can go up and down a little. Obviously, I was kind of scared that this guy would be like easy to break since he's, Marvel Universe figure. And if you use much of their articulation, they often break. Like, I've had Iron Patriot. I don't even remember what I was doing with it. I was just posing it. I don't even think for an elaborate display, and I moved the hand, and it just fell apart, the hand. So that was pretty stupid. I glued it back together, but I honestly thought that would be the biggest problem, but none of the articulations hindered. All of the all the articulations fantastic. The sculpt on this guy is fantastic. It's very movie accurate, other than the eyes and the blue's a little too dark. But other than that, this figure is fantastic. I think the build on it's fantastic. I just think this whole figure is very nice and worth it. So if you haven't picked this up already, I definitely advise. Actually, how I said earlier, they don't have web shooters. They actually do. If you can see, wait, let's see if we can get that on camera. You can see from the sideways just that little bump, which I don't notice on the other side. That's probably why I mentioned that. It's not silver like in the movie, but it blends in a little better, so that's pretty nice. If you wanted to put that in there, I'd just grab like a silver Sharpie and just dot it, or if you're a really good custom guy, you can just dab it or whatever with some silver paint. So there you go. But overall, like, this guy has like no problems. This guy's fantastic. Very little problems other than the good articulation makes some things look a little weird, but that's going to happen with any elaborate costume. This is one of the best Marvel Universe figures there are, I think. I'm definitely glad I picked him up after all this time. I got him at sale for $7.50 at my Target, so I'd advise checking that out. You could probably find him for cheap. He's definitely something worth getting for your Marvel movie display, or putting him by your Marvel Universe, or even just having him as a side figure. Overall, I'll give the Amazing Spider-Man Ultra Posable Spider-Man movie figure a 9.5 out of 10. The only real reason he isn't perfect is because he doesn't come with any accessories or a base, which is something I really would have wanted with most figures, is why it's kind of disappointing there. But other than that, this is a very nice Spider-Man. You can get him in a lot of poses. I've seen other reviews where people put him in super awesome poses. This is just an amazing figure. I would almost be willing to buy like a second one just to put in like 2 different displays. But overall, there you go. Amazing Spider-Man, Ultra Posable Spider-Man gets a 9.5 out of 10.